Hello students, in this video I am going to explain force on a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field. We know that the conductor consists of a large number of free electrons, and when current flows through it, these free electrons start drifting in a fixed direction. Due to the motion of such free electrons, conductor experiences a magnetic force. And when this current carrying conductor is placed in a uniform magnetic field, it starts experiencing a force. Here we have to calculate the magnitude of this force. So let us start with it. For this, let us consider a cylindrical conductor PQ of length L and area of cross section A carrying current I, which is placed in magnetic field B. Current is flowing from P to Q and the electrons are flowing from Q to P. That is, the current flows according to the direction of the conventional flow and the electrons flow in opposite direction. Due to the presence of this magnetic field, a Lorentz force, or you can say a magnetic force, acts on this conductor. The magnetic Lorentz force on an electron is given by E into Vd cross B, where Vd is the drift velocity of electron and B is the magnetic field, E is the charge of electron. Let n be the number of free electrons per unit volume of the conductor. So the total number of free electrons in the conductor will be n times the volume, and the volume will be calculated by area multiplied by length. So the total number of free electrons in the conductor will be n times A into L. So we will calculate the total force on the conductor. So total force will become total number of free electrons into force on each electron. So it can be written like this. Rearranging the terms, so we have obtained force as minus N A L E Vd cross B. Mark it as equation number 2. The relation between current and drift velocity is known to us from earlier chapters, that is current is equal to NAEVD. Let us multiply both the sides of this equation by length L. So it will become I into L on the left hand side, which is the current element, and the direction of the flow of current is opposite to the direction of the drift velocity of electron. This we have just discussed. So we can write the above equation in vector form as this, and we will put a minus sign because of the opposite directions of flow of current and drift velocity of electrons. Let us mark it as equation number 3. Now from equation 3 and 2 we have obtained force is equal to current element cross magnetic field vector. So if we calculate the magnitude, we will get as ILB sin theta, where theta is the smaller angle between the current element and the magnetic field vector. Let us go back to the figure. See here, this is the direction of the current and this is the magnetic field direction. The angle between the magnetic field direction and the current direction is theta. So we can resolve this current in two components, that is I cos theta and I sin theta. This will be the direction of I cos theta, and the perpendicular component will be given by this direction, that is I sin theta. That means this is perpendicular. Now if we look carefully, when it is I cos theta, that means this component of current is along the direction of the magnetic field. It means it is making an angle 0 degrees with the magnetic field. If it is making 0 degrees angle, this component will not give any force to the conductor, and due to the presence of this perpendicular component I sin theta, a force acts on it and its direction is given by Fleming's left hand rule, that is perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field vector and the current vector. So we can understand these special cases like this, that if theta is 0 degrees or 180 degrees, that means when the current carrying conductor is placed parallel to or anti-parallel with the magnetic field, then magnetic field produces no force on the conductor, that is the minimum value. And when this theta is 90 degrees, that is when the conductor is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field, it will exert maximum force, that is ILB, because here theta will be 90 degrees, so it will come out to be 1, and this direction is given by the Fleming's left hand rule. Let us go through the rule. It states that if we stretch the forefinger, central finger and thumb of our left hand mutually perpendicular to each other, the forefinger points in the direction of the magnetic field, the central finger points in the direction of the current or motion of the charge, then the thumb represents the direction of the force experienced by the charged particle that we have applied in our figure also. Now let us attempt numerical. What is the magnitude of magnetic force per unit length on a wire carrying a current of 8 amperes, making an angle 30 degree with the direction of the uniform magnetic field of 0.15 Tesla? We know that force is equal to ILB sin theta, and as we need force per unit length, so we will bring this length in the denominator of the force, that is F by L is equal to IB sin theta. Putting down the value of current, magnetic field and angle theta, so we have obtained this equation, that is 8 into 0.15 into sin 30. It will become force per unit length as 0.6 Newton per meter. Now let us solve one more numerical. A straight horizontal conducting rod of length 0.45 meter and mass 60 grams is suspended by two vertical wires at its ends. A current of 5 ampere is set up in the rod through the wires. First part is, what magnetic field should be set up normal to the conductor in order that the tension in the wires is 0? And the second part is, what will be the total tension in the wires if the direction of current is reversed, keeping the magnetic field same as before? So let us attempt the first part. It is given that the magnetic field should be normal to the conductor. So let us draw the figure first. Let this be the wall through which two wires are hanging, and it is holding a conductor. Let this be the conductor, and let the current flowing in the conductor be in this direction. Let the tension in the two wires are represented by T1 and T2, and it is given that the force, it is given that the magnetic field should be normal to the current and pointing into the paper. As the magnetic field is normal to the conductor, it is represented by crosses as it is pointing into the paper. Now, according to Fleming's left hand rule, if the current direction is this and magnetic field is pointing into the paper, then a force exerts on this conductor in the direction shown, that is perpendicularly, and the weight mg should be downwards mg. But it is given that the tension in the wires is 0. So the weight of the rod and the force on the rod should be equal and opposite. So we can write this force as BIL and weight as mg. Let us equate the two. Current is given to us as 5 amperes. Length of the rod is given as 0.45 meters. Mass is 60 grams, so we have converted it in kgs, and G is given to us as 9.8 meter per second square. So finally we have obtained magnetic field as 0.26 Tesla. Now let us see the second part. In the second part, the direction of the current is reversed. So definitely by applying the Fleming's left hand rule, the magnetic force direction will also be reversed. Let us again draw. This is the wall, 2 wires having tension T1 and T2. This is the conductor, and here the conductor is having current in opposite direction. Let the current be flowing in this direction. So now the weight mg will be vertically downwards, and when we will apply the rule, the force component will be downward. That means this force and weight are in the same direction. So the total tension in the wire will be balanced by the sum of force and the weight. So it can be written as T1 plus T2 is equal to mg plus magnetic force PIL. But as we have calculated in the first part, this magnetic force is equal to mg. So putting this value here, total tension T becomes 2 mg. Putting down the value of m and g, we have obtained the tension as 1.176 newtons. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.